first, and then his connection with historical events. But he had a gift for welcoming people. He was remarkably accessible, very accepting, always made everyone welcome at once. You felt it at once. And he had enormous respect for people, like the kind of things he said about Al and about me. I always felt he was a bit more respect than necessary, but he always felt, Debbie's saying I should talk louder, he always felt that kind of respect, and you felt it from him at once, which sort of established a connection. But my connection was also, and Al's too, that the Yiddish, and Leon came from a part of Ukraine that my family came from. It was in what's called Kiva Gubernia, not far from the city of Yossilinks and near Uman, and my mother always pronounced it Uman. He came from a little shtetl called Galavans, which is mentioned by Seymour Levitan, who came from the same region. So sort of made a connection between us right away, and language became sort of a vehicle for our interaction. He would call me sometimes to sort of maintain the contact, but the vehicle for it was in vocabulary. He'd say, what do these English words mean? And I would say whatever I thought they meant. And he would say, my Russian dictionary doesn't necessarily say that. So he was double checking at the same time. And he was also always joking. I mean, he would say, do you know Russian? Do you know English? And he was always connecting. And that kind of thing that you mentioned. He was always creating community, and that was his gift, and you felt it immediately, and in a way that caused you to sort of want to be with him. He was a person you wanted to be with. He would ask me if I knew the word Bodmer in Yiddish, which I did for some reason or other out of my reading. So that's what he meant by well read. I used Yiddish, and Bodmer means a cooper. And of course, not everyone knows what a cooper is anymore, but we used to have swingies coopers on the other side of the north side of the Granville Bridge. So, okay, that was easy to know in Vancouver. And then from there, he would start telling me about his father, the cooper, and about his experiences in the 1930s, in the years of hunger in the Ukraine. And he said, I was my father's dog. He was proud to be sort of the gopher for his father. And at that time, he would go to the freight trains and try to scrounge some coal, chunks of coal or a few potatoes. And he had no complaints about the Ukrainian workmen who were there, who purposely looked the other way and let this boy take these things. But his complaints were against the Russian left-wing idealists, who came to his father's workshop and dismantled it, took away the machines and took away the metal, even the hoops for the barrel. And he was so infuriated that he sort of rushed out of the workshop and wept with rage outside. And it was these idealists or apparatchiks, whatever they were, that he hated. And it happened that they were Jewish, who were at that time in that region. He also said his father saved his life by making sure he was out of the Galavans and at Uman studying in the Pedagogical Institute when the Germans invaded. So that when his entire family, except for his older brother, were slaughtered, he was safe in Uman. And from there he was drafted, went to the front, was wounded, recovered, and because of his wounds was declared an invalid and unfit for military service after that. So that at 19 he was a veteran. And he spent the rest of the war years in Uzbekistan. Al was just left in New York City, and I think it is Tashkent, where he lived by his wits, which, he didn't go into the details, but